then what you ultimately have is a sinking ship that looks really, really good. Oh, I've got 250k followers, but I make no money because I can't get a sale. Now, if you're struggling to book sales calls consistently and you feel like you're stuck chasing prospects, sending endless messages, or just waiting for the leads to come to you, making it a lot harder than it needs to be. Now, most fitness coaches, they think that if they want to break through the revenue ceiling and start climbing and scaling and all that good stuff, then they need to have these super complex systems, funnels, ads. They feel like they need to go viral. They feel like they need a massive following. You don't need any of that. And to set calls consistently, you definitely don't need complex systems, hours of outreach, a huge following, ads, funnels. It's just noise. It's just fluff. What you do need is the skills to turn people from cold to warm to booked to closed. And I've actually worked personally with fitness coaches who are booking 2 to 3 calls a month with no systems, no ads, nothing like that. By applying this system, they started booking double, triple the amount of sales calls that they did without turning on ads, without creating this fancy funnel, without having class systems. They literally just followed this step-by-step approach, this organic step-by-step approach, and started booking more sales calls. I'm also going to show you the biggest mistakes that cock-block coaches from booking more sales calls, and I'm going to show you how you can apply these tactics today to book calls inside your business. Oh, and by the way, if you stay to the end, I'm going to give you the #1 reason that your prospects aren't getting on the call with you, and it probably won't be what you think. So, if you send DMs but never get any responses, if you have prospects that show interest but never really get on a call, or you are always left on red after following up, and you are missing this key shift that makes prospects want to book a call with you without even questioning or hesitating. Now, most coaches, they feel like they need to talk to more people or play the numbers game or just do more or use more volume to get calls booked. And honestly, that is a lie. It's not about how many messages you send. It's not about how many followers you have. Tell you what it is about. It's about how you lead and turn the conversation into a potential sale. And once you actually understand how to take someone from cold to warm to booked to closed, then booking 10, 15 calls a month is going to be simple. And the best thing is, you're not going to have to use ads, complex funnels. You're not going to have to go viral. You're not going to have to get a big following. You can literally make the most out of your organic audience and then turn on ads and then turn on funnels and then have complex systems. And the difference is going to be is that when you turn those things on, you're going to have the skill set behind you to maximize your return on investment in those things. There is no point in running an ad. There is no point in setting up a funnel or having a big following if you cannot turn those people into booked calls. If you have ads, funnels, a massive following, and you can't get people on calls, you can't close people, you can't get a ROAS, you can't get people to become customers, that is what you have. And I personally would rather have less followers but earn a shit ton more money and close a lot more people, and then I can work on increasing my followers and increasing my ads, increasing my reach, increasing my engagement. That leads me on to another mistake that I see coaches make. They're either in one of two camps. Camp number one, they have a mentor who's got a script and they're being too pushy. I've seen this firsthand. I've taken people into the course, I've asked them, can you show me like what you currently do? And they've read me their script and I've just felt sick. It's been too pushy. It's been just trying to get someone on a call as quickly as possible. There's been no pre-framing, there's been no qualifying, there's been no discovery. It's just been X, Y, Z, what's your goal with fitness, what's this, what's that, what's this, let's hop on a call, 10-minute triage call. What a waste of time, and ultimately what outdated approach. It's 2025. We should not be using scripts, and we definitely shouldn't be using triage calls to get people onto a sales call if you're selling fitness coaching. And that leads me on to camp number two. This is where people are too passive in their DMs on Instagram. Now, I'm not saying you need to be pushy, but for me personally, my Instagram is to create value, create relationships, and to create business. I'm not really here to make friends and engage in sending memes to people and just creating friendships on Instagram. Do I have friendships because of business? Yes. But do I use my Instagram for friendships. No, I use it for business that causes relationships. Or to put it better, I use it to create relationships that create business that create friendships. And ultimately, that's the mindset I believe that you should adopt. You shouldn't be on Instagram trying to chat to prospects, have a chit chat with people. You should have intent, but you should have it in the right way that allows you to have the structure in place to safely and unpushingly get someone from point A to point B to on a call. Now, the key that's going to unlock the next levels of growth for you is knowing how to lead the conversation from the first message all the way up until the call is booked. And ultimately, it's knowing how to lead it in a way that feels natural. And we want the prospect to feel like it's the next natural step for them. We don't want them to feel like it's just something we're trying to push them onto. That is where things start to break down. Here's why this works. Now, when a prospect feels like they made the decision to book, they feel a lot more aspirational, they feel a lot more positive, they feel a lot more excited for it. Now, the trick is, we made the decision to want to book. But obviously they don't know that. And when you actually do this, and when you get a prospect to feel like they made the decision to book, they're less likely to ghost you, they're less likely to ignore you, they're less likely to cancel on you, and ultimately makes the experience a lot more enjoyable for the prospect, which increases the likelihood that they become a client. Now, I actually break this down step by step inside the Close the Circle Sales Academy, which is my sales academy. I show you step by step the exact conversational flow for prospects to want to book a call with you, and ultimately the framework that you can use to book 10, 20, 30, even 40 sales calls a month. And ultimately, I'm going to help you make this feel effortless instead of this massive slog and grind that you probably feel like it is now. If I said to you, what would an additional 40 or 30 or 20 sales calls feel like for you? You'd probably go, oh, I don't know. That's because you haven't got the correct systems, the frameworks, the processes to actually enjoy sales and to make it the most effortless, enjoyable process that it can be. Anyway, I digress. But before you can actually apply what I've said just now, you probably need to know the biggest mistakes that are blocking you from booking sales calls right now. Mistake number one, and that is suggesting the call too early. Most coaches, they actually jump to book a call too soon, and they're normally doing it before a prospect sees a reason to want to book a call. And really, when the prospect's in this position, they don't really feel like they need a call. And when a prospect feels like they don't need a call, they're going to say something like, oh, I'll think about it, I'll get back to you, or I don't have time for a call, or they'll just ask you the price straight away. Now, instead of forcing and pressing the issue and trying to just get that person on a call as soon as possible because you've been told to, you need to lead the conversation in a way that makes the prospect feel inclined and ultimately gets them to feel like the call is just the next step of this whole process of finding out if you can help. Really, if you don't do this, you're going to continue to get ghosted, ignored, or you're just going to get objections every single time you ask for a call. Now, mistake number two is not talking to the right prospects. Now, most coaches, they waste time trying to book calls with people who aren't serious, aren't in a position to invest, don't really care about the service, don't really value the service, and they just get these people on a call to satisfy a need to book calls. Now, we both know, me and you, that if someone doesn't see the value in something, they're not gonna invest even with their time, with their energy, with their money. If you didn't see the value in this video, you wouldn't spend your time watching it. And the reason that you do see the value in this is because you are the right prospect for me. You are the right type of person that watches my content and gets value from it. Anyway, I'm going off topic here. The key is knowing who to talk to, who to ignore, so that you are only spending time having conversations with prospects that actually can, actually will, and actually are interested in your service, your product, or whatever it is that you sell. Now, there is actually a way to pre-qualify a prospect to make sure that if they get on a call, they are in a position to invest. And ultimately, this takes place in the DMs, but we both know that. We also both know is that if you do not filter properly, you are going to spend your week on sales calls with people who don't want to invest, can't invest, or don't really see the value in your service. And ultimately, that's going to leave you feeling the best. Mistake number three, giving control to the prospect. Now, there's actually a saying, he who asks the questions controls the conversation. And ultimately, when you're having an interaction with a prospect, you want to be the one leading, directing, and controlling the conversation at all times. I have genuinely seen people send booking links to prospects and expecting them to book in and expecting to book 10, 15 calls a month. Now, you're probably thinking, well, what's wrong with a booking link? That's kind of the whole point in it. So if you're sending a booking link to people, you are making a huge mistake. Think about what we just said about control, asking the questions. When you send a booking link to someone, you lose control. You are at the mercy of that prospect booking in a call. And ultimately what's going to happen is two scenarios. They might book in. Wow, that's cool, that's fine. I've seen that firsthand. But what might happen as well is they might get distracted. Something might happen. They might get a phone call off their friend, or their kid might spill paint on the floor, or whatever. They won't book in, and then all the emotions that you've had or brought up from the conversation you just had are going to subside, and then they're not going to book in. Then what's going to happen is you're going to have to follow up. You're going to have to say, hey, did you book in? Hey, did you manage to find a time? Hey, does the link work? Hey, does that work? Hey, this, hey, that. And you're just going to lose status with every single follow-up you send. Now, we can actually prevent all of this. And the highest earning coaches that I've seen, they take control. They are assertive. They don't send booking links out. And ultimately, they book calls in a way that frames them in the best possible light and with the highest amount of status. To do this right, you are going to get people to jump at the possibility of booking a call with you. And what's not going to happen is you're not going to have to hang around, wait about, follow up, just to get someone on a call. Now, this is probably the top rated #1 mistake that I see that holds coaches back from booking calls and all of that good stuff. And it's actually the framing of the sales call. Now, if you frame a sales call as just a call, a consultation call, you are going to trigger sales resistance. But equally, if you frame the sales call as just like a chit chat, then prospects are going to have a fright, a shock when you pitch your product or even your service. Now, two things. If you pitch the call too seriously, you're going to bring up sales resistance. If you pitch the call too casually, you're equally going to bring up sales resistance, and the prospect's going to be shocked when you try to close them. You're probably wondering, right, how can we map the call out in a way that's not too salesy, not too casual, but just right in the middle? What you need to do is you need to frame the call as a chance for that prospect to find out more about how you can help them overcome this hurdle and give them a game plan to achieve X, Y, and Z, whatever their goal is. And when you actually start positioning the call in this way, in this frame, prospects are going to be a lot more inclined to get on a sales call with you because they feel like they're getting something out of it. They feel like they're getting next steps. They feel like they're getting a game plan. They feel like they're getting a bit of a diagnosis of their current situation, which gives the call value and makes the prospect want to jump on a sales call. As promised, here's the 3-step process for you to book more sales calls without ads, without funnels, without complex systems, without a massive following. There's 3 things that you need to do. Step number 1 is to lead the conversations correctly with the correct frame and the correct probing process. Step number 2 is to filter out lower quality leads and only focus on prospects that give you green flags and want to actually talk and want to open up and talk about their goals, talk about their struggles, and talk about a possible solution. Step number 3 is to position the call correctly. We want to position it as basically like a high value opportunity to diagnose that person and to give them a bit of an action plan. Because we know that if a call seems like a sales pitch, they're just going to avoid it. And if it seems like a chit chat, they're going to get on and then they're going to be all friendly and they're going to be quite surprised when you try to pitch them your 3-month paid in full $750. If you don't have any of these systems in place, but you have the complicated funnels, you have the ads, you have the systems, you have the followers, you are not going to progress. You're not going to convert your following into cash, and you're going to probably be frustrated, and you're probably going to try and hire someone to do this for you and then wonder why they don't get any results when you haven't even laid the groundwork yourself. But once you apply the 3 steps that I just went through, you are going to get prospects book without hesitation, and you're probably going to enjoy sales a lot more. Now, obviously, now that I've given you the system, the framework to set 10, 15 plus sales calls a month, no ads, without funnels, without systems, without a massive following, the next step is to take the system and apply it into your business. And if you do this, I can promise you that your calendar will fill up with higher quality prospects that actually want to invest. If you want me to personally help you with this issue, and if you want me to personally show you a roadmap to book more calls and close at 70%, then you can click the link down below. That's basically a free sales breakthrough call where I show you the step-by-step process of how I can help your business and what that would look like in terms of an investment. It's not a pushy sales call. Obviously, I'm a sales coach myself, but I'm not going to push you because you either want to work with me or you don't. Links down below if you want to click that and book a call, cool. If you want to soak up the rest of my content, enjoy my content on Instagram, on YouTube, then that's fine. Comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.